Welcome everybody to more X-Mage League US action between Christopher Sandman at the top of the screen and Dylan Magika at the bottom. Both these players are still in with outside chances of playing finals in various formats, so they need to pick up maximum points in this, which is the final round. So it looks like Chris is on red deck wins at the top. Swinging in here. These players are also both very closely positioned in terms of overall points. It looks like Dylan, because this is a pre-recorded match from Dylan. He's on what looks to be black-white approach. Archer Verazca there is a really cool card. It's a pretty good card for EDH, tap 5 and draw 1. But a super aggressive start here from Chris. He's going to get 2, 3, 4, 7 damage in here, putting Dylan down to 11. So Dylan, though, he does have a Settle the Wreckage. We'll see here, is he going to fire it off? Chris has accidentally exerted the Uncrop Crasher by the looks of it. There's a lot of power on the board here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This would drop Dylan to 4. So I'm not sure if he wants to hold out for that Fumigate. And he doesn't. No, he doesn't want to drop that low. This is going to give a ton of lands to Chris, though. You see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If I just pause it there for a second, we've got the Pauper All-Star in Dylan's deck now, the Dusk Legion Zealot. So when he enters, draw a card, lose a life. This card's starting to see a lot more play in Pauper, but Dylan's experimenting now with it in Standard. And he's got 2 of them, so he'll draw 2 cards. 2, 4, 5, still two lands away from being able to play Approach. Chandra, though, is going to put some pressure on when your life total is at 9. Well, here's a shock. This might clear. Yeah, he's going to clear the blocker away, so Uncrop Crasher now can only get chumped, which is what Dylan is going to do. Akari Zev is going to keep the pressure on, so another Dusk Legion Zealot. So he's 1 land short now. He's not mucking around, though. He's going to clear that board away, pick up 2, go to 11. Chandra is threatening, though, with 6, so he's got to get some pressure on Chandra. 2, 4, 6. Of course, a mono-red deck cannot stop Approach. This is going to drop him to 4, so he needs to hit the land this turn or he's dead. I think he missed a Chandra activation there, did he? I think he's just dead now. He'll play out the Dusk Legion Zealot, see if he can hit that land, and we're on to game 2, because he's going to take a point of damage and Chandra would have finished him off. So Chris, at the top of the screen, up a game. One thing there is, this is a bit of a rogue deck from Dylan. It has appeared in online lists, so I'm not sure if Chris pays that much attention to them. He might not know about the approach at this stage. We'll wait and see. But again, he's got that aggressive start. He's got Dylan here down to, it's going to be 12 on. As an Ether Sphere Harvester comes in. Well, Dylan's got a Vraskis here, so we'll see. We'll see if he's going to equip that Ether Sphere Harvester. Fumigate's going to be very good next turn. He doesn't equip the Harvester. I'm a bit surprised there. And he's going to use the Vraska's Contempt on the Bomat Courier. It'll get sacked in response, so he doesn't get the 2 life. Does he fire off Fumigate here? He does, yes. So it puts him back up to 11. Chris down to 3 cards. Ixalan's Binding is going to be very good here against the Hazoret. And right on cue, there is Hazoret. Hazoret is going to get in for 5, though. No, he's going to get in for 8. So this is going to knock him down to... Is he just dead here? He's down to 2. Authority of the Consuls will gain him... Yeah, I think he's got a Vraska's Contempt to get the life gain there, because Ixalan's binding, he would just be dead to a Ethersphere Harvester. Harvester's going to put him to 1. And a Lightning Strike will finish him off. So very quick, we're on to Modern. 2-0 to Chris in Standard. You can see Dylan now playing Jund. This is with the Bloodbraid Elf. The Jund has got very good. I mean, it was always a pretty decent deck, but it's got very good with the Bloodbraid Elf. And Chris has pretty consistently been playing this black-white processor Eldrazi. I think you take the Inquisition there, force him to lose 2 life with the Thoughtseize, because the only thing you can get with Thoughtseize is a Bloodbraid Elf. Yeah, as I was saying, Chris has played this deck pretty consistently. It's a black-white processor Eldrazi deck, with quite a bit of success, I believe. I think he's got to run the Raging Ravine here if he wants Liliana on turn 3, which he does. So down comes a turn 3 Reality Smasher. That's the sort of play you want. Unfortunately for Chris, Dylan has the perfect answer here with Liliana, just minus. And it'll take down the Smasher. And pass the turn. Excuse me. I'll try and remember to cough away from the microphone. So, I think he'd be tempted with the Bloodbraid Elf here. That's what he takes, yeah. The card advantage. And another Smasher comes down. You can't see the chat, but in the chat Dylan says, oh, come on. 2 Smashers in a row. That's put a lot of pressure. Well, he's got to find an answer for that Smasher. The Goyf is going to be a 4-5. Dylan has to be wary. So this is where the processor comes in. Wasteland Strangle will take down probably Dark Confidant, yes. Dylan just has to be wary about what card he chooses with the Relic, because he doesn't want to weaken the Tarmogoyf too much. As he drops to 9 here. Hits a Scavenging Ooze, which is a good pickup. He's only going to get 1 activation out of it this time. Or actually he's going to get no activations because Chris cracks the Relic. As you can see now with that cracked Relic, Tarmogoyf goes down to a 0-1. It's looking pretty ominous. He can actually bolt the Wasteland Strangler here and get an activation of the Scavenging Ooze to gain a life, which is exactly what he's going to do. Tarmogoyf quickly up to a 2-3 there. But this Smash is going to put him down to 4 as he runs out an Eldrazi Displacer. Yeah, that was a bit awkward because he didn't actually have a creature leave the battlefield. Okay. So how's he going to play this? He'll remove... Or Displace is going to displace probably Scavenging Ooze, yep. Before it goes, so... He'll pick up a life, go to 6, so... He's not dead. Shumbling Vents might fire up here. Or he's not going to bother by the looks of it. Where's Smasher going to go? At the face or at Liliana? Just go at Liliana, because he doesn't want to discard his last card. I think that's a turn off for Dylan. I think I would have gone at the face then. Forced him to think about using that Tarmogoyf. Super risky to fire off a Thoughtseize now. Fatal Push looking really bad sitting in his hand there. With no targets. But oh, this is... Fatal Push down, I would imagine. Dylan just thinking, he's got no way that I can see to get a permanent off the board. He doesn't have a fetch land, so I think he just has to give up this Fatal Push. I don't imagine... Oh, okay, this is a nice play from Dylan. So what he did was he fatal pushed the Reality Smasher so he could discard the Thoughtseize just to get extra cards in the graveyard for Tarmogoyf. Because now there's an opportunity to double block the Goyf if he wanted to, and that's exactly what he's going to do, and get the Smasher off the board. So I like that play. Well, Volt's going to get him. That'll get him some lifelink and some death touch. So he's going to take both creatures. But now you need to. I was going to say top deck answer. He doesn't find it, so we're going to game 2. A lot of Tarmogoyfs to start with. I think I'd keep this hand. Immediately we're going to see Chris's hand. There's a Kumbol in there. Well, he doesn't have a lot of non-creature spells, so I'm not really too worried about Kumbol. I don't know why that would have come in from the sideboard. I think you want to take, the Wasteland Strangler. Because he's going to Thoughtseize next turn, get a Tarmogoyf. You've still got 2 more. Well, there you go, he doesn't even Thoughtseize. So there's a chance here if he's going to Inquisition, take that Thoughtseize. He's going to take the Kumbol. No, I think you take the Thoughtseize. I don't, even though the Smash is a 5/5, I don't think that Chris can beat 3 Tarmogoyfs. Although one make that 2 now, he's just top decked that Inquisition. Goyf currently a 2/3. Well, 2 lucky top decks in a row there, 2 Inquisitions, strips the 2 of the 3 Tarmogoyfs. We know that his last card is a Smasher now, so he's got 4 mana, so he needs 1 more mana to be able to activate, to cast the Smasher. Dylan's not mucking around, he just fires out the Treetop Village, gets in for 6. Nothing on Chris's side, so he'll just chip back with 2. So, and that's a good top deck, a Bloodbraid Elf, and he'll find a Liliana. Liliana will get rid of. He discarded a Reality Smasher. I'm a bit surprised by that. I wonder what the last card in his hand is. And he just concedes. So we're going to game 3 now. Blocked at 1 apiece. I think you want to keep this one. There is a risk on the other side that the hand disruption is going to tear your hand to pieces, but you can see a Mutavault and a Relic on turn 1. He doesn't have the play, so he just plays out Mutavault. I think that tells you're pretty safe to go ahead now. 2, 3, 4. Now he's getting into dangerous territory. I think you want to Fulminate a Mage that Eldrazi Temple next turn. Otherwise you're at risk of a Reality Smasher coming down. And that's the line that he's going to take. Yep, so just keep Chris on 2 lands. He would have played a Thought Not Seer last turn if he had it, so he cracks the Relic, he's looking for something, he can't find it, and passes the turn. So now Liliana's going to go to work. Chris finds the 3rd land, so he's got the Lingering Souls now. Scavenging Ooze is going to be very good here. He'll pick up the 2nd part of Lingering Souls. We'll see if he forces it. Oh, and here's a new card that we don't see in Standard. Or just bring that up for you now. Anguished Unmaking. Sorry, it had a bit of play in Standard. Exile target non-land permanent, cost you 3 life. So it's just rotated out from the Shadows over Innistrad block, but he's going to target what? He's targeting Liliana with that. In response, the Skoos eats the well, Skoos is up to 4 now because it just ate a Reality Displacer. He's going to fire up the Raging Ravine and get in, so there's 8 damage coming in here. He used the Skoos to exile the Lingering Souls, so there's the magic number for Chris. He's up to 5 now. See if he's got the Smasher. The problem here, though, is that the Smasher is going to quickly be outclassed by the Scavenging Ooze, and Chris is just dead here, unless he's got some sort of removal spell. He can fire out the Munivolt as a chump blocker, but that would... He's going to Fatal Push the Ravine, and he's got an exile, path to exile for the Scavenging Ooze, so that worked out well. He's still dead next turn, though, to that Ravine if Dylan bolts at the end of the turn and he doesn't have a response. Well, here's a good one. Another standard all-star, Kalidas Trader of Get. If a non-taker creature and opponent controls would die, instead exile that card and put a 2/2 black zombie. It's a bit late to the party, but it can still gain you some life. It is going to be outclassed by the Raging Ravine, though. And if Chris doesn't block this, he just dies, because Bolt to the face will finish him. We'll see if there's a block. No block, so I think there's still he's still contemplating. Is he going to risk it? No block, so Dylan will win. Bolt to the face, and we're going to Legacy. 2 games to 1 in Modern. Chris took the chance there, and it didn't pay off, unfortunately. So we're on to Legacy now. Chris having taken Standard 2 games to 0, Dylan fought back and got Modern 2 games to 0. We're looking at Dylan's hand again here. This is this is a Cabal Therapy on turn 1. I don't know what he's trying to find here. I'll see what he names. He named Goblin Rebel Master. So I'm guessing he's done his homework on what Dylan plays there. Chrome Mox is going to imprint a Mages of the Simian Spirit Guide, yep. So he can play Mages turn 1. So you can see Chris there is on a plane, so he does have a basic, but he's playing what looks to be Abzan. Going to be difficult to win through this Mages. Yeah, they're just resolving something in chat there. So here's Birthing Pod from Chris, banned in Modern. Pay 1, you can pay life. Sacrifice a creature, search your library for a creature converted mana cost equal to 1 plus the sacrifice creature's converted mana cost. So it looks like he's on a bit of a brew here. There's a City of Traders. The Traders and the Tomb only tapping for 1 here because of the... There's the Rebel Master. Only tapping for 1 because of the Magus. And there's a Blood Moon. So he's pretty big on the... Plays out the second Magus. Chris down to 8. And he concedes. We're going to game 2 now. You can see there's a Fiery Confluence in Dylan's hand. It's quite a popular card for this deck. Choose 3. You may choose the same mode more than once. So it's quite a powerful card. Destroy Artifact. Deal 2 damage to opponent, or deal 1 damage to each creature. So you can potentially do 6 damage to the opponent, or 3 to a creature, or destroy 3 artifacts. Cast Chalice on 1 here, and it resolves. So there'll be no Cabal Therapies, though he would have played that on turn 1 if he had it, I believe. You can see here, Chris is just keeping the fetches uncracked. Now he's going to go to crack. And fetches basics. Voice of Resurgence and Legacy. So there's Blood Moon not as powerful here, but it is going to shut off. There's a Phyrexian Tower that's going to be shut off. and any fetches that Chris may draw. Down will come the Rebel Master. So this is a clock, a very, very real clock. Deathrite Shaman will be countered by the Chalice of the Void. Pass of the turn. So Voice of Resurgence just hanging back here to block. Oh, he's offering him a trade here. Voice jumps in front. And he chooses not to kill the elemental token of the Fiery Confluence. Passes the turn. See if he wants to trade that elemental away. He does not. So fires 6 at the face with the Fiery Confluence. There's another basic. Chris down to 7. He does have a basic black though. You can see in hand Dylan's got the Fiery Confluence, so he's got potentially another 6 damage, but the Siege Rhino and Legacy. You don't see that every day, so it evens things up a little bit. There's an Ensnaring Bridge, so that's going to stop the Rhino from getting in, and it's going to stop the Elemental token. No attacks. Does Chris have an answer to that Ensnaring Bridge? He does. Abrupt Decay. So Rhino can get in here, and the Elemental's getting in. Just thinking about... no blocks, down to 3. Crow Mox is not what you want. I think... He's going to do 6 damage here, but I think he's just dead on board. Yeah, Chris has just got to swing both, and we're going to game 3. Yeah, and Dylan, I think, realises it and concedes. So Legacy game 3 now. You can see he doesn't have the Blood Moon or the Mages. So here's a Veteran Explorer. When Veteran Explorer dies, each player searches his or her basic library for up to 2 basic lands and puts them onto the battlefield. It's a good piece of ramp there. And it's also a kind of a way to get around a Blood Moon. I think he'll chump block there, yeah. So get the Explorer. Both players are going to get the ramp. And you can see on turn 2, Chris is going to be able to play a 4-mana spell, Siege Rhino on turn 2. And suddenly there's a ton of pressure on Dylan already. He's going to try and bait him here to get the Chandra to finish off the Rhino. And it worked. Rhino will be finished off with Chandra. Still 5 cards in the hand though for Chris. So he's got... and 5 mana. So you'd imagine he's got a lot of options. He's got his 3 basics up. And 22 life. You can see in hand there for Dylan as the Quicksmith Rebel. So he'll name an artifact when he plays that. His Green Sun Zenith. What's he looking for? So Mirren of Clan Nel Toth. Whenever another creature you control dies, you get an experience counter at the beginning of your end step. Choose target creature card in your graveyard. If that card's converted mana cost is less than or equal to the number of experience counters you have, return it to the battlefield. So there's going to need to be a few deaths on Chris's side before Mirren can really start getting value. First he's going to... how's he going to do this? He's going to have a good think about this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He can actually plus Chandra for 2. He's going to go for the Mages here. He doesn't want to tap that Ancient Tomb for extra mana. And here comes an Ensnaring Bridge. So Mirren can actually still attack if he wanted to, because 3 cards in hand on the other side. It'll force a chump block, I think, from the... So here's Pernicious Deed from Chris. He's going to play that straight away. So we can see here it's an enchantment. You sacrifice Pernicious Deed and destroy each artifact and enchantment of converted mode at cost X or less. So that's going to clear the way of virtually the entire board. Merrin's going to finish off Chandra here, and that was a massive play from Chris. And he's got the advantage big time now, but another ensnaring bridge. Quicksmith Rebel can actually name on the bridge here. He's going to name it on Chromox. So basically, Quicksmith, you can tap that Chromox, it does 2 damage. Another Veteran Explorer. And here's Sidisi. This guy is again from the Dragons of Tarkia block. He's a EDH All-Star, a tutor basically, tutor on a stick. So Chris can actually sacrifice, he sacrifices the Veteran Explorer, so both players will get 2 lands. Merrin will get a experience counter, but that's a huge body now with 13 damage. You can see 7 damage on the board. What's he going to find? We'll have to find out next turn. It's an abrupt decay on the ensnaring bridge, and this is starting to look bad now. Dylan out of cards. Merrin will get in. There's a chump block there because... Okay, so he's going to finish off the Merrin. And a Braid will not do it. Sidisi with lifelink, and that's going to bring a concession from Dylan, and Chris will take Legacy 2 games to 0.